Hey guys, it's Emma Viggling with TYT Politics. Oh no, they're crooked. I'm gonna get so many comments about it. Really sorry. Hey, I hope everyone's having a lovely day, a lovely Halloween. It is a very scary Halloween for Donna Brazile, and we're gonna get into that in a little bit. But if you guys hear any kiddos running around, I don't know, outside, it's a madhouse in my neighborhood, and the doorbell keeps ringing. So I'm sorry if there are any ambient noise, but I wanted to lead with the fact that we have passed 100,000 subscribers. I'm so happy that we were able to do that in this little bit of time. It's been the joy of my life to have this job. I've never been so fulfilled, so happy, so blessed to be a part of something like this. I'm really, really grateful to each and every one of you for sharing our videos, for liking them. I never thought that I would be able to work for my idol, my role model, Jank. I never thought that I would have such a wonderful and supportive mentor and intelligent mentor as I have in Jordan, and a boss who is also my friend. I never thought that I would be able to do what I love in this way. And it's all because of you guys and your support. So I can't even tell you how much it means to me that we've hit 100,000 subscribers in this short amount of time. So thank you to all of you for making this possible. I'm really, really blessed to be doing what I'm doing. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm so thankful. With that being said, I'm going to shamelessly plug a little bit more. Go check out our Detroit videos from our Disappearing Middle Class tour, and check out our interview with Chase Iron Eyes, who is a bold progressive that is from Standing Rock and is running for their lone congressional seat in North Dakota. So again, go check those videos out, and also check out Jordan's victory lap on Donna Brazile, because of course he knows, you know, he and her have had a salsa, have had a dance back in the day, back at the last debate. So he has some very interesting opinions about the latest Donna Brazile situation. So definitely go check those videos out. But the breaking news is that she has resigned or has been fired from CNN. So basically both of those. She was fired because it has become abundantly clear that they can't even dodge anymore. She resigned / fired. You know, you don't really know what those situations are. She was probably asked to resign. And because it was revealed that she leaked a second question to the Hillary Clinton campaign, I will read to you guys the specific email. Jordan already went over this, but just to give some context for people who haven't seen it. The subject is, one of the questions directed to HRC tomorrow is from a woman with a rash. Donna Brazile's really into these extremely specific subject lines for emails. As a side note, the whole email reads, her family has lead poison, and she will ask, what, if anything, will Hillary do as president to help the people of Flint? Folks, I did a service project today. It's so tragic. And what's worse, some homes have not been tested, and it's important to encourage seniors to also get tested. So obviously it's incredibly unethical. It is journalistic malpractice to do what she was doing. She was essentially just acting as a state actor or a DNC actor as she was working at CNN. She sent this email to both John Podesta and Jennifer Palmieri, who is the communications director for Hillary Clinton. So she received this question in advance. We don't know exactly how. CNN has not fessed up to how she got that information. But I have a bit of an unorthodox reaction to this. Donna Brazile should be fired both as the interim DNC chair and as in her capacity at CNN. But I will editorialize and say that I like Donna Brazile. She is, by all accounts, a kind woman, someone who has a lot of respect in her work, and she's clearly, as you can see from this email, she believes her heart is in the right place. She wants the people at Flint to get their water tested. She's genuinely concerned, but she's misguided. And what I do think this shows more than anything is the pervasiveness of the corruption in the Democratic establishment. That even people with good intentions. I do genuinely think she has good intentions. People who think that they're doing the right thing for the country. She is a self-made woman. She is very cerebral, very, kind on a day-to-day level, from what what Jordan has told me, and she from his experience in the mainstream media. So clearly she was concerned about the people in Flint. I think focusing specifically on the personalities is a huge mistake, because you have to focus on the system overall. Yes, you need people to stand up and you need people to break that system, but Donna Brazile is just a cog in that system who feels that she's doing her best to facilitate the democratic values within the system that she's given. So I think she should be fired in both capacities, but I do think that villainizing her is a mistake, because if you just focus on the personalities of people, then you aren't able to actually change and alter the system as a whole. Because it's not about Donna Brazile. It's about the collusion between the mainstream media and the DNC, and, we have it on the right, too, with Corey Lewandowski and Donald Trump. So we have to focus on breaking that up, and the corporate media and its involvement with the major parties, and focus less on who Donna Brazile is as a person, and if she's a bad person or not, because I actually don't think that she is. So again, I'm citing it's so weird to see someone talking about basically like cheating at the debate and giving these questions away, and then also writing about how it's so tragic, the service in Flint, doing a service project in Flint, and wanting seniors to get tested. So, the thing, I mean, you guys may hate me for it, but I do think her heart's in the right place. So that is the big news today. She has resigned / was fired from the DNC. But now we are going to dive a little bit more into the heart of the WikiLeaks. So this was the one that is most interesting to me, because, as you know, the Hillary Clinton campaign is Russia, 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 Russia all the time, obsessed with Russia, saying that Donald Trump is the one that has all the ties to Russia, and that may not be the case based on the context of these emails and the content of these emails. This is a Newsmax article that I actually saw on Twitter. It really summarizes the email, and I saw it because Nina Turner liked it. So Nina Turner, I see you. I see how you feel about the WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks. Podesta continued ties to Russian firm after he said he divested, I don't know. So he had all these ties to this Russian firm, and he was heavily invested in it, but in order to avoid conflicts of interest, John Podesta said that he, got rid of his investments in the firm. But apparently he did not, according to what is said in these emails. May have not. I'll read directly from the article. More hacked emails released Sunday by WikiLeaks appear to show Hillary Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta's apparent continued connection to Juul Unlimited Technologies, despite his claims that he divested from the Kremlin-financed energy company, the Daily Caller reported. Again, I never thought that I would be citing the Daily Caller as an example of good journalism, but they're the only ones besides what we're doing and Politico. Who the Politico framing is very establishment, but they're at least doing reporting on the WikiLeaks. The Daily Caller is doing really good job on this stuff. So again, I'm citing a Newsmax article written by that's citing the Daily Caller. I'll cite the Daily Caller later in the video. Podesta has said that he transferred 75,000 shares from Juul to a holding company named Leonardo Holdings. Interesting, Leonardo DiCaprio Holdings. But included in the released emails is information that Podesta revealed received a K-1 income tax form indicating that he was a partner sharing income with Leodinio Holdings, while another form was made out to Podesta's daughter, Megan Rouse, who is a financial planner. So it went to his daughter now. That's not really that subtle. A June 5th, 2015 email from Rouse to Jean, May, and Gabe Podesta shows the extent to which other family members were involved. See, again, I don't like reporting on Podesta's family, but this is very relevant. May and Gabe, please see attached K1 for Leon Nidio. You can use this to complete your 2014 tax return. We will each share 1/3 of what's on the form, Mom and Pa. Please see attached K1 showing the distribution to Leon Nidio. The Wall Street Journal pointed out that after Podesta has said that he was no longer involved in the company, other emails showed that he also received a bill for legal expenses related to Leon Nidio Incorporation in Delaware, which raised the question of why he would pay the bills for something in which he had no interest. That does raise the question, Newsmax. So essentially, he gave off the appearance that he was no longer involved in Joule Ultimate Technologies, and that he had divested from them, even though that company is heavily involved with the Kremlin and with the Russian government. But basically, he just transferred those shares, 75,000 shares of that company, into Leonidio Holdings. And his family was still receiving money and payouts from that company. So John Podesta is oozing hypocrisy when he just goes Russia, 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 when he's directly, and his family is directly benefiting from a company that is heavily financed by the Kremlin. So while he's receiving shares from a Kremlin-financed energy company, he is screaming from the rooftops that Donald Trump is working directly with the Kremlin. So, of course, the hypocrisy just continues to reign and continues to permeate the Hillary Clinton campaign. That is nothing new, but I find the Russia talks to be incredibly ironic. I hope to God that one journalist that has more access to John Podesta than Jordan and I, because God knows John Podesta does a duck and dodge and dive whenever he sees Jordan. I know, do you like my dance moves? So I hope to God someone asks him about that, because you can't just continue to do the Russia, Russia, Russia dodge and then actually not have anything to back it up from your own personal standpoint, because you are heavily invested in the Russian government. So that is it's not speculation. We don't have a direct smoking gun that Podesta is still heavily involved in there, but we can err on that side. It seems pretty obvious. Here's another one. I'm reading from the Daily Caller. Oy. All right, but that's the state of journalism right now. Leaked email reveals Google chairman wanted to be Clinton campaign's head outside advisor. So here we go with the Silicon Valley and the tech companies being obsessed with Hillary Clinton, being heavily involved in Hillary Clinton. The overlap between the tech companies and the Hillary Clinton campaign is incredibly apparent and has been obvious throughout the campaign. So I will read from the Daily Caller article. Eric Schmidt, executive chairman of Google's parent company Alphabet, wanted to be the head outside advisor to the Hillary Clinton campaign, according to the Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta in an email released by WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks has continued to reveal Schmidt's cozy relationship with the Clinton campaign. In a previously leaked email, a memo showed that Schmidt was working directly with the Clinton campaign on setting up various back-end features to their website. In an April 2014 email from Podesta to Clinton campaign manager Robbie Mook discussing the launch of Hillary's campaign, Podesta described how much Schmidt wanted to work with the campaign. I met with Eric Schmidt tonight. This is a quote from Podesta. As David reported, he's ready to fund outside influence from big, massive tech conglomerates, ready to fund our campaign. Yay, democracy. As David reported, he's ready to fund, advise, recruit talent, etc. He was more deferential on structure than I expected. Oh, so he'll let you guys do what you want with your own campaign? And here I thought this was an oligarchy. Wasn't pushing to run through one of his existing firms. Clearly wants to be head's outside advisor, but didn't seem like he wanted to push others out, Podesta wrote. How charitable of this corporate man who isn't involved in politics at all. He added, clearly wants to get going. He's still in D.C. tomorrow and would like to meet with you if you are in D.C. in the afternoon. I think it's worth doing. You around if you are in and want to meet with him, maybe the four of us can get on the phone in the a.m. Cheryl Mills was copied in the email and let Podesta know that Mook wouldn't be able to make the call that day because he was in Australia. Mook said that she was correct, but would love to talk to Schmidt eventually. Podesta wrote back, the thing Schmidt really pressed me hard on was geography. Very committed to the idea that this will be done in a city where young coders would want to be, preferably outer borough New York City. Thought NoCal was priced out of the market and too into itself. Thought DC lacked talent in this arena. So he's also basically giving the Clinton campaign advice on where this would take place. So not only is he advising and is very deferential on structure, he's giving the location of where this would take place. So what the Clinton campaign is basically saying is, take all of the power away from us, good corporate overlord, and don't even worry about our campaign integrity. You can do what you will because you're giving us a ton of cash, and you can be an outside advisor, fund, recruit talent, head outside advisor. The fluidity between corporations and government, we are not worried about that wall being put up. We're all one and the same. You fund us, we give you favors, and that's how it's going to work here in the Hillary Clinton administration. So come on, Eric Schmidt, don't even worry about it. So that's that was another massive revelation from today's recent Podesta Leaks Part 24. I love how this is like a Goosebumps series. There's just going to be many, many books. Really appropriate for today on Halloween. Now we'll come to the, I would say, smaller revelations, but very interesting as well. Hillary Clinton has both a public and private schedule, much like her public and private position. Flag here. This is from Milia Fisher to Podesta, who I actually don't know her specific title, but she works with the Hillary Clinton campaign. There are discrepancies between the public and private schedules. Public schedule went to your HRC email from Maya Johnson this evening. I called out the schedulers, and they confirmed that the private schedule is the correct one. Of course, the private schedule is always the correct one. Her public position is always the lie. Her private position is always correct. Her public schedule is for everyone to make her, to make everyone think that she's progressive and for the people. And the private schedule is actually the people that meet with her and give her orders. Just want to make sure that you are looking at the correct one. You can disregard the other. I will update your calendar with this timing as well, so you have it digitally. So, of course, she has a public and a private schedule, as much like her public and private position. When Jordan and I have been looking on her schedule to try and cover her, Hillary Clinton has basically not had many public events in a really long time. We were trying to cover her after we went to Standing Rock before the third debate to see if she had any rallies. She didn't have any public appearances, her personally, for like 5 days. And Jordan and I were like, she's fundraising. That's what she's doing. You know what Bernie would have been doing? He would have been out on the trail. So Hillary Clinton's too worried about her scheduling her private position speeches into her private schedule. Here is another one. Excuse me, hold on one sec, guys. It's really hard to find all of these emails and keep them in track. Okay, here's one where the Hillary Clinton campaign was openly talking about President Obama removing Malaysia off the world's worst human trafficking list so that they could more easily pass the TPP. Here's the email. Hi, I wanted to provide a heads up on the next issue likely coming our way on TPP. Obama just readjusted Malaysia's tier on the human rights list in order to move TPP through with Malaysia attached. Trumka will likely be putting out a statement today blasting this. Understandably. I have heard that we will soon be asked to weigh in, given the Secretary's role at state, and as a presidential candidate. Want to provide the heads up. Let me know if I can help you or if you have any questions. Hillary Clinton is supposed to be the female candidate. I would think that human trafficking issues would be high on her priority list as someone who wants to protect women's rights, protect women. Women are very much harmed by human trafficking, as one would expect. So her silence on this is likely, extremely political, am I putting it mildly? And her silence on this also speaks violently about speaks violently, I meant to say violence against women, but speaks volumes about her position on the TPP. If she was really against it, why would she want President Obama to be making shortcuts to get the TPP through, cutting corners on human trafficking classifications so that he can get this trade agreement through? It's just obvious and plain as the nose on anyone's face, plain as the nose on my face. Can we think of someone with a big nose? I don't know. Plain as day. That's a better way of putting it. That she is 100% for the TPP, and that she's willing to let President Obama cut any corners that he wants to get the TPP through. So that was another revelation. I'm pretty sure that Jordan actually broke that one. So there's still more details to come on that one, but that's what it appears to be saying. And here's another one. Let me just see. These were just little ones that I found were interesting. So Ron Klain, who is he used to work in the Clinton administration back in the 90s, and he is the former chief of staff to Vice President Biden, who I believe resigned or left his position in 2011. I'm not exactly sure why. But he was emailing Jake Sullivan from the Hillary Clinton campaign about their positions on the TPP and Glass-Steagall, which is proving to be some of the most problematic elements for her with progressives. He tells the Hillary Clinton campaign to remain against Glass-Steagall because it's a flip-flop. She's so worried about flip-flopping Hillary Clinton. She's never done it before, so she's got to remain consistent, of course. But still give Elizabeth Warren most of what she wants. So the progressive that gets things done needs to concede to Elizabeth Warren to give her what she wants, because obviously their views don't align. Perhaps that puts me all the way at Warren's bill, is what Ron Klain is saying. I don't know it that well, but perhaps it is still short of that. My point is that you can avoid flip-flop claim here by ruling out a return to Glass-Steagall itself while still giving Warren most of what she wants. So they just don't want to have the appearance of flip-flopping. They don't care about taking a principled stance against the big banks. They are more concerned about looking how it looks politically in terms of flip-flopping, and they're also, as these emails have shown, are terrified of what Elizabeth Warren will do to them in the public. That is another big element and big theme, is that they are very nervous about Elizabeth Warren in the public eye, which is another reason why maybe you guys will call me a Warren apologist, but why I do think Warren is effective and a good politician in many ways. I wish she endorsed Bernie, but that's beside the point. Here's another one. Neera Tanden says she's against middle-class tax cuts because liberals will see it as centrist and liberals are driving the narratives these days. She says to Sullivan, just to put the cards on the table ahead of the call. By the way, Neera Tanden is not officially involved in the Hillary Clinton campaign. She's still supposed to be the COO of the Center for American Progress. Why is she being regularly included in these emails and on all of these calls? Anyway, Just to put cards on the table ahead of the call, I don't think this is the right time for a middle-class tax cut. I think liberals will see it as craven 90s centrism driven out of fear, and liberals seem to be driving the narrative these days. Oh, those pesky liberals. Maybe more useful in the general. I would do an FTT, but not for Social Security, because that is exactly his plan, and we are winning seniors. This was in 2016, so this is referring to Bernie Sanders. Given we have issues with low income, should we consider the Hanauer Rolfe idea? So basically, of course, Neera Tanden won't take a stance on anything, and the Hillary Clinton campaign won't take a stance on anything if it's not perceived in the exact way that they want it to be, in the exact way that the polls are saying. So just another indication of the mentality within that campaign. And here is another one that I thought was pretty outrageous. Her press secretary, Brian Fallon, says that Hillary Clinton should discuss Alzheimer's and opioids because it is not a political issue, and so she'll get credit for being not political. Think about that for a second. She's making a political decision to not look political, according to Brian Fallon. Does he have any idea how ridiculous he sounds? I think this issue works best talking about encouraging authorizing more funds for Alzheimer's as something nonpartisan anyway, like opioid abuse, where we get credit for talking about something because it affects people's lives, not because there's a political angle to it. I think it makes it small to try and turn it into a wedge. So, again, also, someone pointed this out to me on Twitter, and I completely agree. Bringing up opioid abuse is not bipartisan. It's just Republicans now suddenly care about drug addicts because it's affecting white people. So now talking about opioid abuse specifically is actually partisan, because you were not doing the same thing for crack in the 80s. You were not doing the same thing for other drugs. Because those disproportionately lock up black people, of course. But again, I just found the irony of that email. Press secretary says Hillary Clinton should discuss Alzheimer's and opioids because it's not political, so she'll get credit for being not political. That is political. It's just, we're in this topsy-turvy world within the Hillary Clinton campaign of insane logic. And I will close with this one, which we will take with this as we will, but I think we know what they mean. Hillary Clinton campaign decides not to talk about Israel at public events, especially ones with Dem activists, only at fundraisers. Robbie Mook says, I'm with Joel Benenson. We shouldn't have Israel at public events, especially Dem activists. And then Sullivan replies, I won't fall on sword over Israel, but we need more than climate in that paragraph, referring to some of the remarks that were scripted for her before the event. So that's a pretty bad one. We already probably know that Hillary Clinton just didn't want to, I'm sure what this email is alluding to is Hillary Clinton did not want to piss off progressives who think that she's too hawkish and too pro-Israel, but when she's at private events, yeah, she can be a little more militant for Israel, a little more anti-Palestine. They don't want to piss off those Dem activists, which Neera Tanden had referred to earlier as driving the narrative these days. Narrative, as if these issues don't tangibly affect anyone in the country. So, that was just some of the stuff I wanted to touch on to get today. Please don't put my head on a spike for not wanting to kill Donna Brazile. I just think I want everyone to focus on the bigger issue. I think that I will close with this. If we focus too much on personalities, that we are never we're never going to get anywhere. Why I liked certain parts of my schooling when I was a government and law major. A little bit about me. I was really heavily steeped in constitutional law and political science, and I also took a lot of classes at college on sociology. And what you're able to focus on is that the systems make the person. And what I want to fight for every day here at TYT Politics is to fix the system. It's not about Donna Brazile. I think if we had a less corrupt system, Donna Brazile would actually be someone who fought more for people. She has a heart for the issues, but she's misguided, and the Democratic establishment and the pervasiveness of the corrupt system that we have right now makes good people bad. And that's when you have a corrupt system like that, that's what happens. So I'm not trying to make any excuses for her. I think she should be fired, and I think that she should not be working for CNN or the interim chair of the DNC in any capacity. But I'm just trying to have a bigger heart about this, and see things from a larger perspective. So, all right, guys. Again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing, sharing. Check out some of our other videos, and have a lovely day.